guys, my name is Hiromi Narita. I'm the study abroad advisor at Kirkwood. Welcome back to our Going Live with Global Learning. So today we will talk about study abroad program and scholarship. We have guest Emily.
Hello.
So thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, of course.
So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a second-year Kirkwood student. I am a first-year veterinary technician student. So I went to France this past May, so it would have been like May and through July or June. That's about what I got. I live here just off of campus and stay pretty busy with my program.
Okay, so today I'd love to hear more about the France study abroad program and also the scholarship. But maybe first tell us about the program, what it was about, and how was the program?
Yeah, so our France trip was technically an innovation and entrepreneurship, but Todd Seville, the one who leads our trip, they were missing a couple kids. They had some people drop out pretty late. So he came and talked to our class, and I was like, France? Like, let me go. So I texted my mom. I was like, hey, what if I go to France? Would you guys help? And so I did that, and then that was in like February, and then by May I was taking a plane to France. We started in Paris for a couple of days, and then we traveled to Lyon, and we worked directly with students there in Lyon. That was really neat to me. We saw they have like a safety and public transport class down there, so we worked with students there. There was one more, but I don't quite remember what they were doing, but we did a whole bunch of projects with them. We spent like 2 full days learning with these students. And then our last day working with these students, we went and played volleyball. Nice. That was super fun. Their PE teacher looked at us like we were crazy because he was trying to like separate teams. And we were just sitting there. And one of them was like, you guys are on this side and we're on this side. And then we hit Marseille for a couple of days. We got to go and see the Mediterranean Sea. That was really fun. But yeah, we just did a lot of traveling. It was a lot of back and forth. We rode a train from Paris to Lyon and then Lyon to Marseille and then took a car all the way back from Marseille to Paris. And that was a 12-hour drive. That was pretty neat too. We got to see a lot of French countryside. That was pretty neat.
That's awesome.
I know. It was great.
Was this your first time going abroad?
Yes. Actually, I got my passport the second day after the program. I was like, I need to go get my passport. So I went and got my passport, and that was really neat. I got my stamps. My passport was really fresh, so I had to stop and talk to the people to get my stamps and stuff.
Yeah, wow. So that was your first time going abroad through study abroad.
Yes.
Yeah. What would you say is your highlight?
My highlight was definitely playing volleyball with the students. It was so fun. I was a high school athlete, and so I hadn't done a whole lot of sports since high school, and then I got to go play volleyball in France with a whole bunch of these kids that they're like, yeah, a couple of kids from our school went and were in the Olympics a couple years ago. And I was like, that was crazy that they played with Olympic people in volleyball. And I was like, that's really neat. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you win?
My team did win on our half. Yes. Yeah. And then some of my classmates were on the losing side. So I kind of rubbed that in for the rest of the week we were there. But it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you had this experience.
Yeah.
And then I guess what made it even better was you won the scholarship.
I did, yes. Yeah, I had a Gilman Scholarship, which is like a national scholarship.
Yep.
That I did like 3 papers for it. I thought it was pretty easy, but yeah, I put in the work and it was super fun.
Yeah, good job. So in case any viewers don't know anything about the Gilman Scholarship, that is a very competitive scholarship for students who are eligible for Pell Grant. And you can apply for it if you qualify, but it's not easy to win.
No, it's not.
So that's very impressive.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, I ended up going through, there's like 3 rounds of like, you have to write these 3 papers for it. One's on, just why are you studying abroad? What are you going to do while you're there? And then how are you going to tell people about Gilman afterwards? So I did those 3, and then I got an email every time I passed another round of their like interview phasing for the paper. So It was a pretty intense. I mean, all of them are like a nice long essay, but it was if you know how to write an essay, I think you could do pretty good on it.
That is great.
Yeah.
Because I work a lot with students as advisor. But most students struggle with it. So
Yeah.
that's really great you could do
Yeah,
that.
I think a lot of it was like how I read all the questions. I was like, okay, how can I make this, make sense to somebody if I was having to sit down and tell you about what I was going to do? That's kind of how I thought about it. I was like, this can be an interview almost. And
Right.
that's just how I wrote my paper, was like, how would I explain what my trip is going to be and what I'm going to do as like I sit down and do an interview type thing.
Right.
That I think really helped me write the papers.
Right now, we have been, recruiting a lot of more students. And then a lot of students think about studying abroad and also applying for scholarship. But some students kind of hesitate to do so, as they feel like they can't really do that. I guess like some students feel like, especially some students, if they're coming from a small town, like you mentioned, they feel like it's not for them, or they may feel like, oh, I won't be able to get it. Do you have any encouragement for those students?
I always think if you have a dream, chase it. My mom, when she was a high schooler, she took German, and she got to go on a trip to Germany in high school. And she's told me that story. My grandpa took out a loan to send her. And she was like, if I ever got the chance to help you do that, I'm going to do it. And that's what made me think, I'm like, why can't I do it? If my mom got to do it 30 years ago, why can't I do it now? So I was like, you know what, let me just try. So it's never hurting to try something new. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's not going to happen. You can always
Right.
do it again. Never hurts to get out of your comfort zone is definitely something that helped me.
Yeah.
Like just try it and then see how it goes from there.
Yeah, definitely. How would you say this entire experience impacts you in terms of like personal growth and also professional or academic growth?
Definitely personal goals would be travel more. I got to see so much in France that we saw ruins that were much older than even citizen or civilian life is here in America. So it was
Right.
really neat to just go see more, not just, be comfortable in Iowa, go and see more in the world. And professionally, think of different ways to be good at your job. Like a lot of these kids, when we met with the students in Lyon, they were like, this is, we go to school for this, and then we have to go and do, a couple years and travel and work. And I was like, that makes sense. Just always try and better yourself in whatever profession you're going into, and reach out to people who have been into it a lot longer than you have and learn from their experiences too.
That is awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So before we conclude, do you have any other last message for Kirkwood students or future students?
Travel. Even if it's not through study abroad, travel somewhere out of Iowa, out of the United States, even to go to Florida and get some sun. I don't know. Take a trip. That's all I got.
That sounds great. All right. Thank you so much, Emily,
Yeah,
for
of
coming
course.
today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.